Makers who invent things from a place of love and a place of passion and a place of inspiration is about as good as it gets. The more stories I hear, the more I travel, I am drawn to those types of people and to those types of stories. I want to encourage other people to find that same place and to build from there. I think it's the wave of the future. I think it's as cool as it gets.
I'm gonna make the most delicious snack in the entire world that I can say yes to, and every time I offer it to you, you're gonna be like, yes, 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 I want it. My older son was born needing a heart surgery, and I was like, huh? And that really sent us into parenthood from a very different place. And then my younger son was born, and he was sensitive to everything. Like, I was breastfeeding, and I think like dairy would send him over the roof. He had reflux. He seemed really sensitive to gluten. So we are a very pro-vaccine family. My first son got all his vaccines, and my second son was sensitive, and he would react. He was just really fussy. And then at 15 months, we took him in to get his DTaP hip shot. And within seconds of the shot, he was screaming for hours. And when I was like, oh, I think he had a reaction maybe to the shot, I had no idea what I was walking into. And people were like, no, that's not possible. And I was like, no, I don't, like within seconds, like, no, I don't, and they wouldn't help us. And they said, well, what you could do is you could just wait. And I was like, well, he stopped talking. And they were like, well, he's still walking. And I said, well, yeah, no, he's still walking. And I said, I really think something with the shot. Like, I'm not telling you I don't like vaccines. Like, I'm just something has happened to you. And I was literally standing there as a mother going, I don't know what to do. Like, I've read all the science I can on this. Honestly, I'm not sure it's 100%. But I'm looking at my child and I'm seeing a physical reaction. So as his mother, what do I do? And I thought, I gotta do this. Like, I have to do this. Sorry, it was really intense. We wound up having to become these renegades to like try to heal him because it didn't feel right to me. And so I was left with herbs and alternative doctors and food to heal him. I was in the kitchen and I was pulling everything out onto the floor that we wouldn't eat anymore. And my husband came in and he was like, well, the kids need to eat lunch. I pulled out a jar of applesauce and I looked at the ingredients and it was just applesauce. It wasn't applesauce and sugar or applesauce and citric acid. It was just apples. And I said, here, give them this. And he was like, and I said, that's all I got right now. And I literally had no idea how to feed my family because I was like, well, how do you replace gluten? How do you replace dairy? So finally I got to this place where I was like, protein, fruits, and vegetables. Like that's what makes the most sense. Like protein, fruits, and vegetables, I can hang with that. And then we lived like that for like 2 years. I can't speak for scientifically does that work for everybody, but I could see very clearly what it was doing for us. And my son was getting better and better and better every day. So I feel like we saved him with food. I really do. But anyway, throughout this whole journey, my kids started, I think, and I started to feel lonely. Like people stopped inviting us over. And I felt like, we'd always show up with our like cooler bags of like, oh, you guys are having that. That's great. Well, we have our lentils, Anybody want lentils, kale, carrots? They're really good. And I finally said, like, I've got to have a snack. And my son actually would come home from school just sobbing, like everybody was having these treats and everybody was having all this really special stuff. And I would lie there in the kitchen with him and hold him and be like, oh, they had a chocolate cupcake. Mommy will make you a chocolate almond flour cupcake. And he's like, I don't want an almond flour cupcake. I want another cupcake. Okay. I really didn't want him to feel left out. And so I had this amazing moment one day where I went in the kitchen and I decided, you know what, buddy, like we can cry about this, but what we're doing as a family is actually flipping awesome. Like we are taking health into our own hands. We are like eating foods that the foods we're meant to eat. We're listening to ourselves, listening to our bodies. We're getting to meet these farmers who make our food. Like, this is cool stuff. So So I said, you know what, let's stop focusing on everything we say no to, and let's start figuring out what we're saying yes to. So I pulled out the cupboards and I was like, millet, nah. Dark chocolate chips without soy and maltodextrin, yes. And I was like looking at all the different things I had, and at this point we were eating honey and maple syrup, and I was like, that's good, and coconut, and seeds, and chia, and hemp, and macadamias, and I didn't really know. I literally was like, I don't know how you put all this together. I was like, well, that's sticky and that's hard, so. And then they were snack bars, and I didn't even mean for them to be snack bars exactly. And I called my kids and my husband in, and I was like, guys, I made this thing, and they came running in, and that was it, and they were gone in like 5 minutes. So then I made them again a couple times that week, and then we started bringing them to birthday parties, and then people wanted them. 2 years ago, we walked into our first store.
What I did was I wound up having to come up with a name. So then I had to figure out, well, what's the essence of what I've created? And that's how I came up with the idea of the Yes Bar, because I was tired of saying no to everything and I needed something I could say yes to. So I had to actually understand from a business point of view what it was that I had created. I had actually created something from my heart. I hadn't created it with a business idea in mind. Then I had to understand what our attributes really were. And then I had to find a graphic designer, and then we had to figure out like what our copy was. I was up till all hours of the night. I had like creative insomnia. Google was like my best friend. Online all night long searching for things. Like, how do you start a food company? How do you come up with a name? What is marketing? Asking people who were graphic designers, and so just learning. I just kind of trusted that like, if I want to buy it, it felt to me like other people really wanted to buy it, and that was the message I got, which I was surprised by.
But every bar still passes through my hands. Every bar is still like artisanally made, and it's kind of quite a crazy process. Because I'm doing what I would want to buy. What I like the most isn't even the bar itself, which I think is this culinary pleasure. Honestly, like the philosophy that we were built upon, which wasn't some branding exercise. It was an actual moment in my kitchen, for real, with my son, of just looking in his eyes and being like, dude, life can suck sometimes. So like, let's get up and make it good. So that for me is this sort of underpinning behind Yes Bar, which I'm so excited to share with the world. Beyond even just this incredibly tasty treat. But to say like, yeah, so what? So you're gluten-free, you're grain-free, you can't eat all this stuff. You don't need to cry. Like, here you go. Here's a little piece of joy in your life. Like, go out, celebrate. Because this one tastes better than all the rest of them. We were at the Grove, and my older son was on the trolley, and there was this woman across from us eating popcorn, and my older son grabbed my arm, and he said, Mommy, you have to tell her. And I said, what do I have to tell her? He said, she's eating popcorn. It's probably GMO. She doesn't know she's gonna die. You have to tell her. And I thought, I might have taken this a little bit too far.